Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. We are continuing and finishing, because it's only a two-parter, the page from Mythographic Dream Garden by Fabiana Attanasio today. I will link part one of this colour along in the description in case you haven't seen it and you're interested. This has been a battle to try and get this done. I've realised I'm not one of these people that can do last minute stuff because I take too long to colour, so lesson learned. But I got there in the end, albeit this video will go up a few days after the first one, which I prefer not to do, but I've been going as fast as physically possible. Right, so where we left off, obviously I'd shown you one of each kind of flower and leaf so that you could work from there. All I've done is rinse and repeat. I've dotted the pink and yellow all over the page just for some kind of, balance to it. And that is what we've got going on. You will see I have blacked out my background. I've used Posca pens for this in black, but you could use, it's single-sided, so you could use any kind of acrylic paint, well, any kind of paint really. You could use alcohol marker. I mean, if you don't mind the streak or you've got a way to blend it, you could even use felt tip pen, I suppose. So whatever you've got. My bubbles, because I've decided they are bubbles, is a blue Posca. Again, they're only small spaces, so you could just use a Crayola or a felt tip, a marker, pin, anything. Or you could always glitter them a little bit. Still 50-50 on whether I might add a little bit of a sparkle layer over the top of those little dots yet. I've decided I wanted her to look a little bit like dark water. I don't know whether I've managed that or not, but I've done a completely black background to suggest the depth, and then obviously I've left the swirls in white to suggest kind of a foaming current, and then she looks like she's wading through the water. Don't know how it was meant to be, but that's how I'm going with it. My friend had a lovely suggestion that it would be her dress, and probably if I had it to do again, I would, if I was going to try and make it a dress, I would definitely kind of add in some lines to give kind of pleats and folds to her dress, and that would have been beautiful as well. But I was committed to my water scene by then, so that's what it is. And what I have done for the little whatever we're calling those, hidden objects, there we go, is I've taken this gold, I've got a decocolor premium something kind of pen in gold, and I've just used that over the hidden objects that I couldn't, you'll notice there are much fewer, anything I could colour with the background I've covered over. So I've only kept 3 hidden objects that were over the top of other things, and I couldn't get away from leaving them. I'll be honest, I kept this one because I kind of liked it. I could have got rid of that one, but I kept it. I have this beast here because I'm assuming it's not actually a flower because it doesn't match any other of the flowers, but it could be. So there's 2 ways to tackle this. You could make it a flower, let it blend in, or you could make it one of the hidden objects and do it however you've done the other hidden objects. I think I'm just going to make it a flower and try and get it to blend in to the rest of my page. So we're going to do it like one of this pink set here, and see if he'll disappear in to the depths of my page. I have found my brutfuners work quite nicely in this book. I have noticed the ink moves around a little bit, so you do end up looking a little bit smudgy grey. That was not a problem for my piece because I didn't mind that kind of look to it, and I've used quite pale colours and been as careful as I can of it. But yeah, it's a shame when ink moves like that. So I'm just popping my darker pink, well, my darker pink into the middle like I have with my others. And then I'm going to take my very pale pink and work that outwards, kind of almost to the edge, just so it blends into nothing. And we'll call that one good and pretend it's a flower. I mean, it might be a flower, but it's just odd. It doesn't really match any of the other things. So I was thinking maybe it's a well-disguised hidden object, but I'm just going to pop a little bit of my darker pink just into those veins and fade it all the way to nothing again. I say darker pink, I mean my red. And that is that. So for my white lines, obviously I've surrounded them in a black background, so for that part not a problem, but for anything that goes over my picture I have actually whited out the lines. I'm going to do the same thing with these little sparkles as well. So in any part where it overlaps the drawing itself, I'm removing the black lines just for the look of that. Just have to even that back up again. And this one here, I'm not obviously bothering where they're over the black, except for where I need to then resize. You know, if you just do half of the black lines, your star will be uneven. Whereas with these, I did just bring it over where it impacts upon my page. Just think it looks a little bit more, just a little bit more realistic without the black edges to the form, I suppose. Again, you don't have to do this bit. I'm using a, what am I using? A uniball signo white gel pen. There's a billion white gel pens on the market. Or also what I've quite enjoyed using, but you have to have a very, what's the word? A steady hand to be good at it. I've got is it the Dr. Martens bleed proof white? It's basically an acrylic, a very thick acrylic, and that works very nice, but I'm not as good at it when it's going over other fine details, you know, when you need an actual precise line. I'm getting better, but you've got to be quite neat with them. So a pen it is for me. And I felt it conveyed that feeling of it being, you know, the surface of the water quite nicely. So that is that. Obviously you just continue on, I'm not going to bore you to death. One thing I have found with these, when you're done, I mean, don't use your fingers, use a tissue, but remove the excess from the nib. All that wax and pen and everything else built up. And I found they work better next time, stops them getting kind of blocked up and messy. So in essence, I've only got her left. So we have been working with the brutfuner squares on this page. So in the vested interest of a colour along, I will finish with my brutfuner squares. But disclaimer, for hair, they're not really my go-to pencil, and for skin, they're not really my go-to pencil. They're not, you know, we all have our favourites for certain things. I love my square brutes, I love them, but I'm not brilliant at skin, so they're not really my usual first choice. And I like a ridiculously hard pencil for hair, so same again. Right, let's see now. I'm thinking I'd like her to be a brunette. I think it'll make her stand out that little bit more among the rest of the page. So I've got a few colours to play with here, sharpening them, because apparently I've, as per usual, not been very organised there, but at least I remembered my sharpener for once. So I've got, dun dun dun, let's see, I'm going to take the ochre kind of colour out, because we're going to go for almost an ashy brown and see if that works. It may and it may not. Got to try these things, haven't you? So in the brutfuner squares, I've got 023, 022, 117 and 064. But as always, whatever pencil set you have, just grab that one. I need to lock this, don't I? Sorry guys, bear with me. Don't want it zooming in and out all over the place, do we? You want a very dark brown, a kind of warmer reddish brown, a more neutral, same sort of depth, but in a yellower brown. And then I've gone with kind of a French grey. So that kind of green grey a little bit, in a very pale tone. So anything like that, any grey, doesn't matter. I've been very pleased to see you guys posting and sending me pictures of your versions of pages that you've done, either following a colour along of mine or pages where you've done grayscale because you watched my live and it's helped you tackle it, and I love seeing them. And the main thing is I love seeing, even when you followed my colour along, how diverse the pictures are. They're still your picture, you know, people have changed little bits here and there to make them their own. They've used their own style, their own the way they shade or blend, and it's so nice to see that they're useful, they're being used, they're being followed, and that you guys are really enjoying them, and that you know, people have said that they are helping. So I just wanted to let you guys know that, you know, it's just nice, really nice to see them used. It's been lovely, to be honest. These last few weeks I really feel like lots of people have been taking stuff from my pages and finding them the guide that I'm hoping they're going to be. So we have this very dark brown, this 023, and as always with hair, very sharp pencil lead, and we're gonna dogs have arrived, so they'll be gone in a minute. I'm sorry guys, ignore the snuffling. They have to check that you're not invaders, so they wonder who I'm talking to, you see. It doesn't make sense to them. So we're just flicking upwards from the bottom. I want it to be quite dark, so because of that I'm extending it further. If I was using my darker tone for a paler, like a blonde or something, then obviously I would just be doing kind of the root length, but I'm going to bring this up a decent way. I turn my pencil because it keeps the point for longer before I have to resharpen. Although you will definitely resharpen quite often with hair. Hair and fur, they're the biggest pencil killers really, aren't they? Right, just work my way around. The thing with hair, you need to be able to be comfortably going in the right direction. So turn and move your page as you need. So you can flick in the direction you need to. So I'm going to do the same thing again from the top. I'm going to take my own advice. Sorry guys, but we're going to turn the page slightly for comfort. And we're going to flick the other direction. There we go. Bring that round the other side as we hit the middle. And for the bun, I'm going to come in from the middle all the way outwards. And then my next brown is 022, this kind of reddy tone, just a warmer brown. I'm going to flick that all the way in from the ends as well, now giving it its colour. I have enjoyed this page actually, albeit trying to get it done for the colour along adds a little element of stress to it, but I have enjoyed, it's very peaceful working on flowers. Right, the next brown is to tone down some of that red, add some yellow. This is 117, and again just going to lay that over the other colours. I am going to bring this in slightly further, so we're reducing that gap where the highlight is now. Where the black lines are, I'm going to bring that all the way through. So there we go, and again out from the middle, but just that a little bit further again. And then we'll see if this works. So I have 064 in the brutfuner square, kind of a, I forgot my brush again. I'm gonna have to get a new, I'm gonna have to get one just for up here, aren't I? We'll blow it off, do it that way. Right, so the final one, let's see if this is gonna work again. I'm not just popping that over the middle, I'm dragging that right the way along because it will just smooth them into each other a little bit as well. Not quite as bothered about this being quite as short because I'm not really using this to define hair, more to smooth and blend that hair in a little bit. Right, I'm now gonna add that around the edges in an unusual way, I know, but again, I'm using the circles to blend some of that colour in. And then I'm going to re-add a little bit of my darker shade, because you do lose it as you go along. Just not quite bringing it as far out this time. Nice sharp pencil again, so you can see hair strokes when you're done. And then I'm going to bring that through some of these darker lines as well. Okay, I have to blow it again. There we go. Yeah, I'm pleased with that. So that's my, she's kind of a mid-tone brown, which I'm happy with that. Right, skin in brutfuner. Let's do this. See what pencils I've got hanging about. Again, I'm using the pale pink and pale orange from my page. Well, peach. I'm going to use some of the brown that I just used for the hair, and then I'm going to add in this kind of ochre-y colour and see where we go from that. So we have 071, a very pale pink you want. 013, some kind of very pale peach. 093, so kind of an ochre colour. 117 is just a pale yellowy brown, and 002 is this kind of darker, more ready toned brown. I may keep in reserve this 023, which is a really dark brown. We'll see how much definition we actually need. I'm going to lay down a very pale orangey layer. We are creating the undertone of her skin now. Hardly at all. Just barely there. You're better off if you've got a blunt side. So my pencil looks sharp, but it's actually a blunt side that I'm using, so I don't get little lines. If you have to scratch it off on a piece of paper to get that blunt edge, do so. It's much easier than dealing with a completely sharp point, to be honest. Right, we're then going to take that pale pink, the 071. We'll do that, scratch it flat a little bit, and we're going to do the same again. We're now going to add that pink over that orange. Now you can make your page as detailed as you want. There's plenty going on this page already, so if you hate skin, or you don't like skin, or you're nervous about skin, you can leave it at that. You could have put a marker base down, whatever you want. You know, she's going to disappear in there anyway and you'd be fine. If you want to add some detail to her, then what we're going to do is this 022, so this kind of quite dark reddish brown. I'm going to pop that into the back of the arm where it would curl round, underneath the arm here, under the armpit. Again, I'm using the side of the pencil because it lets me just add a very pale layer rather than scratchy little points of pencil. And I pop a little bit in here into the fold of her arm as well. And into the bottom of her back here. And where that, well, where a shoulder blade or a spine, bit of both probably. So we're curving around here. And I'd bring that kind of up into the back. And then you've got this bit of shadowing where her hair is. So it's a dark colour, but I don't even know if you can see. I'm gonna zoom you in. I've laid down the absolute finest layer, to be honest. I've just realised my other light isn't on, so let's turn it on and see if that will help. We'll relock our focus. Right, it'll get darker as we go. So again, we're popping a bit more of that down underneath here and along the base of her arm. Decided she's going to be quite pale, mainly because I'll be honest, mainly for no other reason than I'm using brutfuner squares and I'm not in my comfort zone, so pale is safe. I'm just going to add some random depth in the side of her hand rather than mess around with her fingers. Use that appearance of having taken time on detail, and out of habit we will just give her a little elbow. Right, I'm then going to bring this more neutral brown into play, the 117, and we are in essence now just adding layers to that and building it up. Now we've got that initial kind of shadowing mapped out, we can be a little bit braver about laying pencil down now. Got this yellowy ochre colour, this 093. I'm going to be a bit careful with that one. Just going to add that along the very edges. Okay, shall we see if turning one of these off? There we go. Kind of lets you see what we've got down a little bit more. I'm now gonna I really need my brush, people. Fail. I'm gonna lay another layer of that very pale orange all over everything. And a very pale pink, same again. There we go. I'll zoom you out so we can check that out before we continue. So again, if you've reached your comfort zone, she's got that little bit of shape to her now, and you could call it quits. Again, for those who, I don't know, glutton for punishment, I'm going to take that very dark brown, 023. Very carefully this one. Again, I'm going to remove the sharp point from my pencil, and I'm going to increase my shadows. Now, I am a beginner at skin. Not being self-deprecating, it's just true. I feel like I'm improving and I'm getting a lot better, but there's a lot of different things you can do with skin, and there's a lot of different things you can learn once you start watching people that are, you know, actually trained and have some schooling. I'm just a colourist. So if you are really trying to learn your skin and increase kind of your knowledge, there's plenty of wonderful skin tutorials out there where they teach you the colour theory of, you know, your skin undertones, and using blue, purple and green into your skin tones to, you know, balance everything. Some lilac for your shadows, things like that. If you are really wanting to take it to that next level, that is, I'm not there yet. This is mine. I can darken up my shadows a little bit. But I am working my way up to that. That will be a while yet, I think. If ever. I do like them to look like they've got elbows. I don't know why it bothers me when they don't, but it does. The beautiful thing about skin is when they look like they've got a bit of texture, I don't think it matters, because that's skin for you, isn't it? You can just say, oh yeah, no, I was going for realism, it's supposed to look like that. And call it good. So I'm going to leave the shoulders quite pale because of the idea of a highlight. And I am good with that. So again, let's zoom our way all the way out. And just for those that do prefer to see stuff finished, we're gonna finish whiting out the last of the lines that overlap with my picture. Why not, eh? I've done that one. We need to do that bit there. And this one. Nearly there, guys. Sometimes when it's skipping like that, it's easier to clean the nib of your pen off, get all the gunk off, and then kind of dot a second layer over the top, because it starts to actually remove itself from the page, which is annoying when you're trying to do that second layer but it's not dry. We'll have the bottom of this bit. And then this is the last one. There we go. Right, let's zoom ourselves out. Can we? Will we go any further out? No, I'll just have to move around a little bit. There we go. So, yeah, I tried something a bit new on this page, guys. I don't usually go with flowers quite that pale, but I'm really glad I did. I will keep that combo, I think, because on the page I do think that very pale orange, pale pink floral really does give a nice backdrop to her wading through there, and I'm pleased with the way it came out. I like the idea of it being dark water with the black background. I think it came out really striking behind all those really pale colours. And I hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. As always, thank you so much for sitting and watching through these things. Please give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy it. If you press the notification bell, YouTube will let you know that I've uploaded a new video, because otherwise it doesn't at all, ever. So I'll see you in the next one.